Okay, Stuka Joe here, and I'm at Consume World 2021. Practically the expo is over. I'm just waiting in the hotel lobby where for some reason the internet is super quick, high speed, so I set this at 4K 60 frames per second. I just wanted to do a test. So I'm gonna be unboxing a game that I brought with me. I didn't play it at the convention. And just to test to see if the quality is good, if the reception is good, if the chatting works, because I think for next year it's just a matter of somebody connecting a little cable from where I am to the ballroom, and we can have, oh, there's Mo. How you doing, Mo? We can have 4K, well, this is not 4K, it's actually 1080p, 60 frames per second, with a high bit rate and all that. That's technical stuff for those of you who are interested, but in the ballroom, it was very little. The bit rate was very small, and if I moved around too much, it would disconnect. So I'm not even using my microphone. I'm using the camera's back microphone. So hope the sound is well. I mean, the only noise here is a TV, but the TV is pretty far from where I am. So in a few moments I'll start unboxing the game, and again, as I said, just to have a recording and how this works for next year to see if we can improve the transmission. So we have Ignacio Perez. Saludos desde Asturias. Ignacio, Asturias. ¿Dónde? Gijón, is it? ¿Qué parte de Asturias? And we have Mike Bertuccelli. Sounds good, thanks Mike. And of course we got Mo. So Mo knows what I'm talking about, these technical things. You know, YouTubers, people think because we're war gamers, we were experts, and we really have to juggle a lot of things. It's not only the games, it also is this technical stuff. In Oviedo, okay. Oviedo, sí. Ignacio, estás en Oviedo. Yo no he ido a Asturias todavía. I haven't gone to Asturias yet. I was born in Barcelona. Nací en Barcelona. I go to the Bellotacón, which is in Badajoz. Voy a la Bellotacón en Badajoz. But the good thing about Spain is that each time that you go to Spain, you can visit different places. So, lo bueno de España es que uno puede visitar sitios distintos, y quizás algún día paso por... Me interesa ir por el País Vasco, y por ahí puedo pasar también, quizás por Asturias, pero... That's really good. We got Kirk Bollinger also. Hello, Kirk. Yeah, technology is finicky, but it's marvelous that we can talk to different people in different parts of the world very easily these days. We couldn't do that before. And we have Jeff White. So let's take a look at the game that I'm going to unbox, so that at least this unboxing has some relation to wargaming, because that's what the channel's about. So this is the Against the Odds Annual 2019. Even though, let me shift the camera a little bit, even though we're in 2021, in annuals they are in 2019. And the game is, Oh Liberty, how many crimes are committed in my name, La Vendée Counter-Revolution in the West, 1793. In Asturias, you have the Great Battle of Covadonga with Don Pelayo. Oh yes, that's a classic. So this is Against the Odds. For some reason, it's the only magazine I'm subscribed to. I really like this magazine, but I end up buying a lot of decision games, that's strategy and tactics, and now it's going to be World at War, because Modern War folded. But this is the only one I'm actually subscribed to since issue 2. I don't have it issue 1. So you get this this card stock here. This is a game. We have the credits, designed by John Paniski. Russ Lockwood is the developer. Mark Mahaffey, art direction. It has a standard size map sheet, 176 counters, and we're seeing more of these in magazine games. It brings cards, 2 army display charts, 20 pages of rules, and 4 6-sided die, complexity is medium, solitaire suitability average, and playing time 3 to 4 hours. And here we see the images of the counters that we will see in a little while. So this is the little cardstock that it brings. Of course, this brings a magazine, and it comes in this box, which is typical of Against the Odds since they started. So here is the magazine, and it is always well illustrated. Introduction by Andy Nunes. In Puerto Rico we say Nunez, but I think he says Nunes. We have the historical article here, Vendée Militaire by John Poniski. So this is pre-Napoleon. I mean, Napoleon participated obviously in the French Revolution. But this is pre-Napoleon, and this is trying to suppress the royalist uprising in France after the French Revolution. So we have a well illustrated magazine, as always. This is Charette, François Athanas de Charette de la Contrie. So I butchered that name. And for those of you who are joining, this is a bonus material I'm making from Consumer World Expo. I'm waiting on my shuttle to the airport, so I'm doing this video here in the hotel lobby, where for some reason the internet is really, really good as compared to the ballroom, where it is not as good. And here we have this article about American slave revolts in the Caribbean and South America by Stephen Johnson. And so this is another interesting article. I know there was a huge slave revolt in Haiti, which was a very bloody affair, which I'll be reading about. And then we come to the rules of play of the game, which comes in the middle of the magazine. This is a game designed by John Poniski. Thanks, yes. And we have John Pitorek. Thanks for the bonus material. My pleasure, John. Here we see the royalist counters are in white. Have infantry, cavalry, artillery, Chouans. I don't know what those are. And we have some leaders, I suppose, or markers there. And we have the Republican counters in dark blue. We have Army Commanders, Generalissime, and Army. And of course, the British are in the game also. See them up there. I'm trying to put my camera closer to, but I can't raise it anymore. Here we are. And James Mosman. How you doing, James? James, the winner of our Brotherhood and Unity game here with the Bosniaks. Optional counters here. Got Napoleon there. And then you see a sample card there. Fortresses and region control. It's a sequence of play. Let's see. There's about 7 phases that I can see here. Not bad. Rules for reinforcements, irregular reinforcements. Chris Ridley, how you doing, man? Got movement, stacking, those are standard kind of rules. And irregular and detachment combat. Card draw and play, hand size. And there's this is an insert. So you pull these out, and I like to laminate these. So this would be like the royalist playing play rate. And appears here that you have boxes to hold the units, I believe, the leaders. That's what I think. The armies. These are the armies for the royalists. You have a summary of the sequence of play on top. Reinforcements, movement, combat summaries. Brûlé. Brûlés. Oh, brûlé. I don't know that. It's not crème brûlée, I suppose. Then the other side is blank because, of course, it's going to be a display. Then, hitting this game, this package includes another game, and it's a Pearl Harbor game. Figure. Oh, we got Il Duce, Pancaldi. How you doing, man? So this is A Day of Infamy. This is designed by Paul Rohrba, I think. So this is one of those smaller games. So you have the rules here for that game. And then there is an Emperor's Chart for Rome, Inc. That's another game that came with Against the Odds magazine in the previous issue. So all this is for Rome Inc. It's a 4-page fold-out. Here we continue with the rules for the Pearl Harbor game. And then this is going to be the back of the Vendée player, the Republican player. Player aid in dark blue. So these are, of course, in the common magazine paper. I always laminate them so that they're protected. So we continue the rules with Army Combat, Army Dice. There's Fortresses, so you have Fortress Combat, Retreats, so we got British Expeditionary Army, Brûlé. What's Brûlé here? Brûlé markers represent scorched earth tactics used by the Army de Mayence in regions of the Vendée. So these were, I think, the Republicans burning down burning down villages over there. Kind of nasty stuff that you find. And we have Ken Porter and Mike here. Rome Inc. is on the table. Well, that's good because that's a different approach to a Roman game, strategic game that covers a lot of years. And you have Caligula and all those colorful guys. I mean, Nero and all those guys will appear. So we have the setup, card definitions, optional rules, and I'm on page 18 so far of the rules, and designer notes by John Poniski. And there's Napoleon is optional apparently. Okay. So I guess instead of sending Napoleon to Italy, they send him to the Vendée or something. That's my supposition. And then you have the credits here in the back. Then you have another article, A Serpent Nailed with Iron, the Viking Ship by Mike Jocelyn. You have some illustrations and a table there. And Characteristics of Game Boards by Louis Pulsifer. That's interesting. Characteristics of game boards. You have like a flow chart here. No surrender, variant rules for not men but devils. Not men but devils. Well, I'm trying to remember what game is this? I think this is one of those mini games by Paul Rohrba. I may be mistaken, but this is the French and the Mexicans. So let me see, not men but devils. For all those who play not men but devils, these rules allow the players to explore 2 what-ifs. Okay. Then we have rules for a 6-player in Die Atombomb für Sechs. This is the game that has players constructing the atom bomb for the Germans as the Allies close in on Germany. So you have rules for a 6th player here. Here's an ad for Monty's D-Day. I think that's coming up for Against the Odds magazine. They did Bradley's D-Day, which takes care of the American beaches. Then you have Battles Orphan, the Bay of Pigs invasion. That's interesting. By Paul Rohrba. So we have a depiction there of the Bay of Pigs, and that went south. There's some games of the Bay of Pigs around. I don't know many, but there's a couple. I think Kerry, what is his name? Kerry, I forget his last name. Anderson made one. Here is, let me see this. You have an appendix, Dramatis Persona, Alan Dulles, and then you have Meyer Lansky, Santos Traficante, Lucky Luciano, so you have the Mafia's involvement there. Fulgencio Batista, these are the same people you see in Cuba Libre, so they have that photograph of Fidel when he was arrested after the attack on the Moncada barracks. This was like 2 years before Cuba Libre starts. And Batista released him, and then he came back with a vengeance and took over the country. And then you have an ad for La Bataille de Mont Saint-Jean. This is by Clash of Arms. So that's the magazine. Okay, we just saw the magazine. And now we have here, this is the map for the Pearl Harbor game. So let me see how we're going to show this. So, showing it in a landscape format. Here we have, see Hickam Field. We have Battleship Row there. Tank Farm R2, Ford Island. Tank Farm F1. There is a track over here for alert levels. So I guess it's the same logic. The alert level is high, there's going to be a better response by the Americans. There we see the little titles here. Game designed by Paul Rohrbaugh, and the game art and layout, Mark Mahaffey. So that's the bonus game. Here we have the bonus counters. You see here. Let me see if I can focus a little bit here. That's not the focus. Okay, that's something else. So let me see here. Okay, we got John Longshore with us today. We got 24 people, and we've had no interruptions, so that sounds good. And I guess the sound is decent. Heard no complaints. That's good. So we continue here. We see zeros. Kates, and see how the autofocus works. It's not great. And we have the American planes here. Wildcats, Hawks, Warhawk, Medal of Honor. You got the Nevada. The Japanese side, you have a Vol. Well, you got two Vols, 2 zeros, well, 4 zeros. Well, there's more Vols, so I won't even count them. But these are the counters, and this is the back of the counters that show reduced sides. So that's the bonus game. Then this game brought one of those postage card games. Not Men But Devils. Oh, see, here it is. That's the one that the magazine's talking about. So this is, looks like the Battle of Alamo. And we have Purple Norseman and General Sorrow. Welcome. There's a test video, and Alberto Estruch at 60 frames per second. The lobby of the hotel here at Consim World Expo. The expo's over. I'm just unboxing this presentation by Against the Odds magazine, their annual 2019. So this is, you have the Mexicans against the French. These would be the counters, unless we would get the deluxe counters, but the deluxe counters, actually die-cut cardboard counters, didn't come with this. So you have and you have the rules here, which is 1 page of rules, which is good and bad, because after you read the 1 page of rules, if you wish for more pages, that's not good when stuff is missing, but that's the way it is. Now, we have the rules for A Day of Infamy, which is the bonus game. Comes in this cardstock sheet. It has some designer notes. And It's just one-sided, so it's a one-page affair. Then we have cards here, and these are poker-sized cards, and they look really good. They're not mini cards, but so these look quite nice. Okay, we got Aussies in the house. That's great. So these are the counters for the game. One thing I like about Against the Odds magazine, the counters are really thick. And these are nice counters. It's Mark Mahaffey. I'm not sure I can focus in too much. At least the way that I see it, if I get too close, it doesn't focus. So, I mean, not perfect, but. So here we see the Republican troops. I think these are the Republican Army markers. You got the crème brûlée, or the brûlée here, the burning of spaces here, those pin markers. You got leaders here in the bottom. Same here for these, for the royalists. You know, troops, artillery, the British, and the back sides. Frankly, they look the same, the troops. And these are the backs of the brûlée markers. And the counters are thick. They're not super thick, but they are nice. They're easy to handle. They know how to make counters, these people in. That's one of the reasons I think I've always subscribed to them, because the counters are always very good quality for magazine games, of course. Here we have the cards. Let's take a look at one of the two decks. You see the backs, and these, I think they're all the same. They just placed them in two packs so that the box will not bulge too much. So here we see a difference. We have action cards here. So let's take a look at the action cards first. Faction cards. 6-player. It's interesting. Oh, these are not the cards for this game. These are the cards for the 6-player variant of the Die Bomb card. The Die Bomb game. The game that actually was very well received. The building of the atomic bomb. I love crème brûlée too. I'm getting hungry here. So these are the 6 cards. So you pick a faction. So let's take a look at the factions. The party, NSDAP. See, you have victory conditions stated there. This is something that I would actually, I kind of do sometimes. I do like reference cards. So you have the reference card for this faction. Then you have this other faction that has a different victory point, like the British say, schedule than the others. So it gets +5 for nuclear theory, +20 for uranium engine, and you see it's different from the Schutzstaffel's schedule. Oh, this is cool. So you have a quick summary of victory points for each side. So we have the SS Schutzstaffel. So of course, when you build the atomic bomb, that's 40 here, but only 30 for the Reich Research Council. So the SS has a stronger incentive to build the atomic bomb than this faction, which is kind of cool, because the more asymmetrical the sides are, the more fun and replayable the game is, because you want to play it with different factions. So here we have the Reichsindustrie, German industry. See, they don't even have to get for 30 points the atom bomb. With the uranium engine, they get 30 points. And in this game, there's always a dirty bomb option, but not all factions get points for that. So, here we see. Now the next one, and I leave the other one so you can compare here. Here you have the Heereswaffenamt, the Army Weapons Office. Atom Bomb gets 30 points. Uranium Engine 20. 30 for the prior faction. Finally, here we have the Reichspost, the post office. So even the post office has a faction here. So these are the 6 factions for the bomb building game. See if I can pronounce the name of the game, which I can never. I don't see it. I just see the faction. I think it's die something. And now we get to the cards for the game. This is La Vendée, 1793. You see the backs of the cards, very nice. And they feel very nice too. They feel very sturdy. Got Daring Maneuver. So that's card number 26. So I believe there's going to be 26 cards. Safe Passage. Popular Support. Another Popular Support. But they're different, at least the artwork, but I think it's the same effect. Yep. Inspired Leadership. Another Inspired Leadership. Surprise. Intelligence Coup. Coup de Main. 2 Coup de Main cards. I think the effects is the same, but the artwork is different, which is a nice touch, you know. The fact that the artwork is different. Let's go to the other pack. We have Good Weather. Another Good Weather card. Fearsome Reputation. This is Fearsome Reputation again. Yeah, it's same effect, different artwork. Extraordinary Maneuver. Pardons. Pardons. Now, there's a lot of pardons here. Got the Fat Ladies Fishing also joining us. We have here Interdicted Supply. Esprit de Corps. Another Esprit de Corps. Another Esprit de Corps. Bribery. Lucky Star. 2 Lucky Star cards. So those are the cards in the game. And I think it's 25 or 26 total. So I guess these are just effect cards. It's not a card-driven game. And here we have this is the standard tray that you get with the game. With the dice, you get 2 blue and 2 white. So I'm gonna open the map, and then I'll pick up the camera and we'll take a look at the map. Let's see if this map fits in this round table. Let me clear the area first. Okay, so let's pick up. We see the whole map. It's a standard 23 by 33 or 24 by 34 standard map size, and it's an area game. You have the areas here, and this is trying to identify the area in France, but it looks like this is a southwest, something like that. Châtillon-sur-Sèvre, Cholet, Mortain. So you got these, obviously look like forts. You have this river here, you have Nantes. Okay, so we know where Nantes is, yes. So this river runs through the whole north of the map. And I wonder what there's a red bordering here. But we'll find out what that is in a little while. And we have these spaces with the cross here. Then we have like town names in some of them. Let's take a look at the terrain key. We got Republican home regions in green. Okay, so these would be Republican home regions, these here. And these are, which are lighter encased in this red border, those are gonna be Royalist home regions. We have Ocean Lake, march routes. These are towns, fortresses, region border in white, region border in red, and Loire River border in blue. And then Royalist Army setup area. Those are the ones with the cross. So now that we know what all this means, here we have the Royalist setup areas, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we have the fortresses, which you can see. There's a healthy number of fortresses there. And the Republican areas are in dark green. And we have here our turn record track. Each turn represents a month in 1793, so we start in March. And I suppose these are reinforcements that come in. So it's a 10-turn game. So unless the sequence of play is very involved, it shouldn't be too long. We have here the Granville off-map box, and this is a march route. So it costs 3 something, maybe movement factors, who knows, to move onto the main map. So that's what I can gather from the map. I think it's a nice looking map on a topic that I have 0 games about. So that's something that interests me. And that's La Vendée 1793. Let me see your comments. Okay. So we have 29 viewers. We've been going on for 33 minutes with no interruptions. I imagine that the sound is okay, and I'm just using the internal microphone of the iPhone. So I'm leaving today at, actually my plane takes off at 11 o'clock, and it's like, I think it's like 3 o'clock here, so I gotta kill some more time, but I'm gonna just walk around Tempe and have a nice meal. And I just wanted to test this video to see the capability of the hotel for next year, to see if we can get better Wi-Fi in the ballroom so that the videos can look better. Okay. Okay, Eugenio Maria Pacielli, how you doing? I'm doing great. And so, if you have any questions, you can hang around for a couple of more minutes. Happy to answer. And just to let you know, I'll be leaving to Puerto Rico. Okay, and we had a disconnect not because of the hotel. I hit the wrong button. So I was lucky that I was able to come back. That was, you gotta watch out when you hit the iPhone. And we have War D Robe also. So my favorite game that I played at the con. Okay, I'll tell you all the games I played. I played Brotherhood and Unity, which I really like a lot. Really like Brotherhood and Unity, and I would play it more. I played Cuba Libre, which I like, but I got my ass kicked because, I mean, Cuba Libre, you have, the coin series is very involved. It's very intense. It's kind of a brain burner because you have to think ahead and think like the others, and I'm still learning the ropes and the nuances of the game. I also played Arctic Storm, which was, and I played Friedrich, which I loved also, but that's not a game that you can play solo. You need players. We played with 4 players. It was a blast. because that's the game that has the cards in different, how do you say, suits, the diamonds, the clubs. And at the beginning, when I read the rules, I'm going, what the hell is this? You know, if I attack from a region that has the hearts suit, I can only use hearts cards. But that's very arbitrary. But when you play the game, it all comes together, and it's a great strategy game. It's a great bluffing game. Your armies have unknown strengths until you go into battle. So it's a great maneuver game too, because you have a supply train that lags behind your armies, and you can't advance beyond it, or they'll become out of supply. And at the same time, if your enemies are very strong, you try to outflank them and go for their supply train. So it's very, very well done game, and looking forward to play it again. So what do I plan to play next? Well, I'm gonna probably do some videos. Maybe we'll be doing a video on the last 100 yards, and I have to do a video on the Verdun game, which is also, I'll be working on that. But I'm getting a new camera, so that I'll be improving my camera at last. I'm getting it's not an iPhone, so it's a mirrorless camera. So hopefully that'll help me also make the videos even quicker than I do them now. So, oh, your ancestor was a Potsdam Grenadier. Wow. Yeah, it's a great game, but I think it's impossible to play solo. That's why I never gave it a try. But it's a great multiplayer game, and I think non-war gamers will pick it up very easily too. So you don't have to play with war gamers, because the rules are fairly simple and very straightforward. So I recommend it. So I played 4 games actually, because the rest of the time I'm doing videos, and the networking. You speak to a lot of designers and a lot of company people. The networking in these conventions is important to see, where the hobby is going and how one can be useful too. That's also important. And so I did an interview that I finished with John Butterfield, but I'm gonna edit that, so that's coming up later when I'm home. And I did an interview with also Dana Lombardi, talk about his upcoming Stalingrad game. That's my favorite World War II battle, so I have all games Stalingrad. And he's finally making one that is not as huge as the Streets of Stalingrad. It's more manageable. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to. The interview with John Butterfield was great. I really like that Downfall game. Is amazing. I thought originally that one player played the Germans, but it's a 2-player game. One player plays the Western Allies and the Germans in the East, and the other plays the Germans in the West and the Soviets. So it's that kind of dichotomy that you find in Battle for Germany by SPI. But Battle for Germany starts in 1944, at the end of 1944. This game starts in November 1942. So there's a lot of historical events that come in, that occur, and there's cards for events, and there's a very interesting and innovative system of initiative that was designed by the late Chad Jensen, who is the originator of this project. John Butterfield just is joining to complete that project. It's a really interesting initiative system that certain actions cost certain initiative points, and if the player that is last in the track goes, and then you move your marker, the number of boxes that the action costs, and if you pass another player's initiative marker, well, that's the end of your turn, and then that player goes. So if you take actions that cost a lot of initiative points, it may be a while for that faction to go again. So nobody is ensured a turn here, when to go, and so that's very interesting, and because of the way it is, there's not a lot of dead time also. So it sounds very, very interesting. And Hell's Highway is being remade by New England Simulation. So we know that it's going to be a beautiful game. I I purchased one of their games, and I mean the presentation is incredible. I didn't have any New England simulation games, so I said, well, I'm going to purchase one. So I purchased Jaws of Victory. And it's just incredible that. Yes, that's what I told John. The initiative system is kind of similar to that fighting formations that used the cube, and depending on the action that you took, you moved it. It's something like that, but to a strategic game. And I asked John also that I found it interesting that he was designing a strategic game, and this is a strategic Chad Jensen game, and I don't know of any strategic Chad Jensen or Butterfield game before, because I think Chad Jensen is well known for Combat Commander, tactical game, and also Fighting Formations, which is tactical, and John Butterfield is known for operational games. Because even RAF, the Battle of Britain, even though you have the whole battle, it's a series of raids, and you're going after raids, so raids are operations. So that's interesting that you have that collaboration on a topic that none of the designers on the scale they had worked before. So that I find it very interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing the development of Downfall. And of course, the Hell's Highway game is a huge improvement over the Victory Games game, which the counters, for example, were almost unreadable. And then there's another, it's called Battle Commander Market Garden, another Market Garden game, which is a simpler one that's going to be published by Compass, which he also talks about there. And I took pictures of that, so I'm going to edit the video and place the pictures there, so I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting. We got the Grog Shed, and the P500 for Downfall is it's on already. So when I get home, I'll be joining that, and basically that's it. Let me see. I don't have much else to say. Jaws of Victory is up for the CSR this year. Yeah, it's a big game. It's a 2-mapper, but it has 1-map scenario. So who knows if I may even play it? I don't know. I'm not assuring anybody, because with my job commitments and everything, that those 40-page rule books are a dime a dozen these days for me. But I'm a 1-mapper guy. 30 pages max. But of course, if I really love a game, I'll read the whole thing. But so we got Mike Curtis. Thanks, Mike. You're welcome. And so I got more videos, but they're edited. They're interview videos and a couple more. So you maybe expect 3 more videos from the convention. And then I'll be back to my regular programming. And it's going to be the last 100 yards. It's going to be Verdun, Steel Inferno. I'll do the extended example of play there. And then I don't know what I'll probably do. I want to do I will do a playthrough of the 3-turn Santiago scenario in A Splendid Little War by Legion War Games. I want to do a playthrough, but I'm doing playthroughs. I'm looking for playthroughs that are 3 turns long, something like that. Sometimes you can't. It's a 10-turn game, and I try to squeeze 3 turns in one video so that it doesn't become that game's channel for a month. So those are the plans, and thank you, Duce, and thanks, Chris. So I'll leave you guys right now. We've been on for, I think, almost an hour between the interruption. 25 people watching this video, which is unannounced. That's good. And I'm streaming from an iPhone here in the Tempe Mission Palms Hotel in the lobby room with no microphone, just a microphone the camera brings. Of course, I'm right next to it. So it's great, the technology that we have, that we can make our lives easier, even in wargaming and YouTubing. So, as I always say, guys, this is Stuka Joe signing off for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks, guys. Take care.